Hi everybody, hi Itamar. So, Doran Martell, what do you see happening to him and with him in season 6?
First of all, the first ball. So let's understand the man, this Prince of Dawn.
Okay.
First of all, it's very interesting that he's a prince.
He's the only prince.
He's the only prince in the kingdom.
Or everybody is a lord, only the head of Dorn is a prince.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Dawn, they weren't conquered, they weren't annexed, they were married into the kingdom.
So they had leverage.
They preserved this, this title like a symbol of some kind of an autonomy or cultural autonomy or traditional autonomy.
There's also some respect in being prince. You're not a lord, you're a prince. So you're treated differently.
Being a lord, it means that you are a vassal to the higher lord.
Right.
But being a prince,
it can be standalone.
It's standalone, like in your principality.
He's actually different than the other lords. He's not obsessed by ambition. He's not ruthless. He's respectful. He's a prince.
Calm. I think it has something to do with the weather, maybe. Because
usually people in warm weathers, they're calm, there's no war.
Yeah. And even though his public perception is of a weakling, he's very strong. Because he stands up to all the public opinion, and the other lords, and other politicians in his kingdom who despise him, who say, yeah, he's weak. He stands up to them and says, I welcome your hate. I know the interest of Dawn. It's a good thing that I don't listen to you.
Right.
So he's a good role of the monarchy dice.
What do you mean?
One monarch can be very good, one king or prince or whatever.
Or
lord can be very good. But, he can be the best leader ever, but his son will be like crap,
Okay.
So, a different bad role of the monarchy dice. So Dawn, as a society and as a kingdom, is lucky to have him.
Okay, why do you think so?
His public perception is like of a weak leader. In terms of the ideals of the period, they hurt him a lot. Like the Lannisters killed his sister and raped her. And killed her children. And killed his sister and raped her.
Right.
And killed her children. The reaction that we as readers and we as, visitors in this world, the reaction
through the eyes of Dornish characters who want war with the Lannisters.
The reaction that we expect is the Oberyn reaction.
Right.
Tough, vengeful.
Right. Just, righteous.
Protect the honor of the family, the honor of the name, the honor of the sister.
But
his brother, his older brother, is very rational and understands something about the balance of power and about the battles that he can win. A reaction like Oberyn reaction made by the Prince of Dawn can bring doom to Dawn.
Right, it's against his own interests and the interests of his kingdom to go into an all-out war with the Lannisters.
He's willing to pay a price,
personal price
for his public perception as a weak leader and whatever, in order to protect the interest of the people.
Right, okay, so here let me interject, because in the show we haven't really seen that he has a plan to get back at the Lannisters. He just seems reluctant to fight because he thinks that Dorne will lose. In the books, we know that he has a plan. In the show, probably it will be different, but just you should know that he has something in mind. He's not a weakling, right?
He's still Dornish. He's
proud
Dornish man.
And he remembers his sister.
And he wants revenge. But he doesn't want to, be crashed upon a wall or something like that.
Right, on his own time.
On his own time. It's a good thing that Dornish society is not a democracy, because the people want revenge for Oberyn and for Laria. And if he will give the people what they want...
Right, okay, so you think that sometimes it's good for a nation to be undemocratic?
One of the reasons that the First World War was such a prolonged experience because the nation itself, the combating nations, like the peoples themselves, were engaged in that war. It was a war during a democratic era. In order to win the war, they had to persuade the nation, the people, the masses, to give themselves to the country, to the state.
Okay, so they got people excited for the war.
Yeah, and when they sat down in Versailles to create the peace, they had to take into account the vengefulness of the people. So they made it a lot worse than they should have. In contrast, like previous wars in Europe, the battle was won, like the officers, gentlemen sat down.
Well, I think that concludes our treaty. Gentlemen, a toast. Peace in Europe.
Peace in Europe.
Excellent. Excuse me, what about Luxembourg?
Basically, when you have a democracy during wartime, the leaders have a personal vested interest in the conflict because if they will be seen weak, they will be replaced by someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the part where we predict what will happen to Doran in season 6. So what do you see happening to Doran Martell in season 6?
The kingdom of Dorn and Doran Martell has a role in the story of basically making it more complex and to give us some kind of a window to other parts of the kingdoms which are influenced by this civil war.
And they have their own interests that is different from the other parts of the kingdom.
You cannot ignore them.
So they are part of the crumbling of the Seven Kingdoms.
One of the roles that they are playing is to aggravate the situation,
right?
Make it more complex, tell us something about the fragility of the Seven Kingdoms, or maybe the fragility even of a feudal system based on loyalty and not on national interests or national identity. Because the Dornish people are outsiders.
Right.
They live behind the mountains.
They're not seven kingdomers. In the first season, we hear King Robert, saying that the Dornish, they want to kill him, and he sounds paranoid and says, nobody wants to kill you, everything is fine. But then you understand that he was right. There were people waiting for the right opportunity to exact revenge. Okay, so how will it play out in season 6?
Doran's son,
right.
Trystane.
He looks like he's in a boy band or something.
Yes, and he's on his way to King's Landing. He probably will reach
nice.
there.
Right.
After Myrcella was poisoned on the boat with a great dramatic scene. Made me cry. Because it sucked so much. He's an hostage, basically.
Right. Cersei's hostage.
Cersei's hostage, the Lannisters hostage, and now they are in conflict. The Lannisters will want to exact revenge on this
Trystane boy.
This chutzpah.
You haven't seen Trystane in the trailer, so maybe he's a goner. Okay, so what I think will happen is this: Cersei eventually will kill Trystane and will basically force Doran Martell to head out to King's Landing. So basically, what's her name? Elia backed Doran Martell into a corner that after his son will be murdered, he will have to go to King's Landing. Right when the Tyrells leave King's Landing and when the Faith starts to take over King's Landing. So in King's Landing you have the Faith taking over, and outside the Tyrells and the Martell.
I see, that's a good theory. I see a different trajectory, a different way.
I don't think you do.
Excuse me, I'm talking. I see Doran Martell, because he's so calculated, he will see this war baiting that you're talking about.
Okay.
If you'll get news from Washington, news from the capital.
That his son is dead.
That his son is dead, but the kingdom is crumbling. His best move is to stay behind the mountain, hold his army backwards, and wait for all the shit to happen, and then come. When I try to see the ending and compare to the history, Dawn can be both Wessex, a southern kingdom.
Okay.
In Britain.
In medieval Britain.
Or Spain. Wessex is the southern kingdom in Britain that later, first English monarchy came from there, from the south, from London. So if the seven kingdoms are like Britain, so the most southern kingdom, it could be King's Landing as well, or the rich, but it could be Dawn. That's what I'm saying.
And if it's Spain?
Spain was part of a different Europe for a long time, a Muslim Europe.
Like Dorn.
Like they were outsiders of Europe, but later they were reconquered by the Christians,
right,
and became one of the first nation states in Europe, and developed on their own superpower and spread the Spanish language all over the world. Maybe the end game of Dawn will be to be independent. not part of...
Totally independent of the Seven Kingdoms.
Like they were in the first place. They're different culturally. They have different values. They take things less seriously, let's say. They have a more, I don't know, egalitarian society. They are close to the sea, so I can see them maybe building fleets and, you know, expanding and colonizing.
Saying, okay, this is, all the northern people, they're too much trouble. Let's head to Sothros and see what we can do there.
Yeah, and maybe the end game is to create a different state in Westeros that will be neighbor to the northern states or one state or empire or whatever.
Okay, do you agree with that prediction? If you have a different idea of Dorne, what will happen to Dorne in season 6 and beyond, to infinity and beyond, click below.
And we don't take money from super PACs.
Right. We are funded by the people.
Straight to the people. So if you want to support us, we don't have any super PAC. We have an average donation of $27.
$4.
Whatever. So be a part of it. Be part of the revolution.
Political revolution. And subscribe to get our next videos. And if you want to watch all our season 6 content, click here. And if you want to watch our previous video about Dorne, here it is. Check it out. And we'll see you all next time. Bye everybody.